got the vibe, yeah, we got the flow. Jeff Fox, taking you behind the mic, keeping you in the know. Where the real stories are told, where the truth and the soul unfold. Now you know, it's the Jeff Fox Show. Behind the Mic Podcast.
All right, it's the Jeff Fox Show, Behind the Mic Podcast. And every now and then you really get a chance to talk to somebody you always wanted to talk to, a true national treasure, a true talent. It's Boney James on the line, one of the greatest saxophonists of all time. Hey, Boney, how are you?
That sounds good when you say it like that,
hey, man. Let me tell you, I saw you, oh, my God, it was many years ago. I was over at the Blue Note in New York, right? Uh-huh. This is something I'll never, ever forget. When you first hit, the volume was really low, and it just built up a little bit at a time. I said, Boney's doing something. He's teaching you what dynamics are all about. He had that mood and that groove so mellow and so low. Do you remember that?
Well, whenever I'm making a show, I like it to have an arc. I'm trying to tell a story. It's the same way with my records, too, That's how I conceive of it,
Was it your wife that said this? You have put in your proverbial 10,000 hours as a musician, and what does that mean?
Well, I guess there's a famous saying that in order to get really great at something, you got to put in 10,000 hours of practice. So I think I must be topping that now.
Oh, sure.
This year is my 30th year as a recording artist, so it's kind of an anniversary.
Well, congratulations. For the folks who don't know, because they're always discovering who you are, tell the folks where you're from.
Well, I grew up in New Rochelle, New York, actually.
Wow.
And my family moved to Los Angeles when I was in high school, and I've been out here in Los Angeles ever since. But, I still kind of feel a little bit like a New Yorker. And, I came up playing with Morris Day and the Isley Brothers. Those were like my two first gigs. I played with Randy Crawford and Tina Marie. I had paid my dues for about 7 years.
Wow. What was it like being on the road with those great R&B artists like that? Oh, my goodness.
It was wonderful, man. First of all, I was just glad not to be delivering pizzas for a living.
Yeah.
Wow. And it was great. It was just a great school for me to sort of learn how to be an entertainer and learn how to handle myself out on the road. And it really set me up good for when I finally started making my own music.
It's wonderful that you grew up on both coasts as a musician. What's the difference?
Yeah, man, I'm not an expert on that kind of stuff. I know there's a lot of people who think there's an East Coast and a West Coast sound, but, I just try and keep my head down and do the Boney James thing, whatever that is.
Now, Boney, you've been married for 30 years.
Yes, sir.
Now, how do you balance the family life and, being a touring musician? I mean, how does that work?
Well, my wife and I, we don't have any kids, so it's just us. So that makes it a little easier. But, ever since we've been together, it's been like this. We had to postpone our wedding because I got a gig. and now she's actually become a television director over the last 7-8 years. So she's on the road almost more than me, because they film all these shows in
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time apart, but when we're together.
What do they say, Boney? Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Fonder, yes.
As an artist, as you go from project to project, when do you know, okay, it's time to start a new project? When does that happen? How does that work?
I got to say, whenever I turn in a record, and this has been the case over my whole career now, I feel like I just had a baby and I can't even think about, doing another one. It's exhausting. It's an immersive experience making a record, especially since I started producing myself about 20 years ago. Invariably now, and I've learned to just trust this process, after about a year and a half, I just start to get the urge to be creative again, and I start collecting ideas, and it starts really slowly, and, just little scraps of ideas here and there, but next thing you know, I'm deep in it.
You were talking about practicing. Do you practice, or is it God-given gift?
Oh, no. That's hard work, man. I guess you have to have some talent to start, but for me, it's been a lot of hard work. I know some guys that are prodigies that, basically came out slamming. It's steady, slow, and intense progress.
How do you practice and what do you practice?
You know, with the horn, saxophone is a very physical instrument, so you really just need to play every day anyway, just to keep it kind of together. Otherwise, you will start to slide back. So it's conditioning. A lot of it is just playing the horn and keeping your mouth and your embouchure and the way you blow and your fingers, all that stuff, nice and strong and nimble. But, you know, for me, I had a great teacher when I was coming up, a cat named Bill Green. He said, it's a lifetime study. I agree. Music is such a huge subject. There's always something to learn. And that could just be, you know, going back over stuff, you know, playing scales or long tones just to keep the tone together. But also, if I hear somebody do something or I come across something that I glossed over when I was younger, you know, listening to some of the greats, I can sit down and learn it and internalize it into what I do.
Somebody once told me that the saxophone was the closest thing to the human voice. Is that true?
Well, I mean, it feels like my voice, that's for sure. You know, I can't sing a lick. This is how I sing, is through this instrument. So, you know, that's how I think of it for sure. Just ask my wife. She's like, oh, no, don't sing.
You go for new ideas. Where do you start to find these new ideas?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of mysterious, but I mean, they kind of just float into my head. I mean, I hear music in my head a lot. Luckily, some of those ideas are original.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know where they come from, but they float down from the heavens, I guess.
If you're sleeping and you hear a melody in your head, do you get up and record it in your phone a little bit? How does that process work?
I have done that many, many, many times. Yes. That's not the most common way to do it. I mean, usually I'll just be out here playing with my horn. I'll play something. I think, oh, that might be something. Or, you know, just hanging out, driving in the car, whatever it is. You just get an idea, you know, or I'll sit down at the keyboard and mess around with chords or sometimes with a beat. You know, I can hear something and that'll spur another thought. It's a big process of discovery.
But when the record company wants a new project, is there pressure there to get it done? You see movies all the time. I need a book. I need an album. Do you get that pressure, or I'm going to do this at my own pace?
I kind of do it at my own pace, but as I said, it's pretty regular. I'm very fortunate. I have not felt any blockage at all over the years. I mean, this new record is my 19th record, so something must be going right, you know?
And now that you're producing yourself, what's the difference from a creative standpoint?
Well, I mean, you know, when I first started out, I didn't know anything about making records, you know, and I was working with a cat named Paul Brown, and he was very skillful in the studio. And back in those days, you actually had to be out in a professional recording studio to make a record. You know, now I've got a studio in my house and all this new technology. I can do so much at home, and I've learned how to do it over the years. And after we made, I think it was, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 records together, I really started to feel like I know what I want to do, and I don't want to have to argue with another cat about what it is. And I had been co-producing the records for a number of years, and I thought, let me strike out on my own and see what happens. And I'm really, really proud of the records I've made by myself, which is now more records than we had made together before. So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm calling the shots, and I feel like I've learned a lot about making records, and I really enjoy that process. It's actually feels like another instrument to me that I can play, is producing.
How do you stay up on technology? Magazines, friends, how do you stay up on it?
I am not a huge, what they call, gearhead. I know a lot of guys are like that. I've got my tools that I use, and I upgrade them if I need to. But for the most part, I've got everything I need right here, and I know how to use it.
So when you were starting out, who inspired you as a saxophone player? Now, take it back to some of the greats.
Well, I mean, for me, you know, the huge inspiration was Grover Washington Jr. You know, I heard Mr. Magic in 1975. And I had been a kid that really loved R&B music, but I also played the saxophone. And Grover was the first cat that I heard that was playing a funky beat with a beautiful horn on top of it. So that's kind of the tradition that I'm kind of carrying on today. For 7 years, I toured around, and then my first gig was with Morris Day right after the Time broke up. I was a keyboard player in that band, and I played a little bit of saxophone. From that, I went and did the Isley Brothers, and Randy Crawford, Tina Marie, Vesta Williams.
Oh, my.
You know, Sherelle, Sheena Easton, gig to gig to gig to gig until I was able to actually make my first record in 1992.
How did you go from keyboard to saxophone? 2 different things, and to be a keyboard player as a tour musician, you must be a real nice keyboard player. You're kind of modest on that.
No, I'm okay. But I mean, you know, I had taught myself how to play keyboards because I wanted to write songs. And so I was delivering pizzas to pay the bills, trying to break into the music business. I heard Morris was looking for a band. And so I went and I tried out on keyboards because I just needed the job.
Wow.
I told them after I got the job that I really was more of a sax player.
Isn't that something?
And then I sort of got known as the cat that could play keyboards and saxophone. That's how I paid my bills for some years.
That is really a good story. So you out there delivering pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, pizza man outside. You open the door. How much I owe you? And it's Boney James.
Yeah. That was me.
I tell you, the way an artist starts out, it's truly fascinating. Now tell us about this new project. Who you working with on this one?
Well, the first single is featuring October London, who is really hot right now, and our single is heating up at radio, which is really exciting to have that R&B airplay. I've got Marcus Miller on the record playing on a couple of tracks. Corey Henry is an amazing singer, keyboardist, is playing on another song, and guys in my live band are playing on the record. And it's honestly, it's a beautiful, beautiful record.
Tell me about this October London, because we're going to be playing that.
I had heard him last year on the radio. He had a single that was #1 for a few weeks. I'm like, who's this cat? He can really sing. So he was just kind of sitting there on my list. And then I was working on this track with Jairus Mosey, who's a collaborator of mine. I thought this song needs to be a vocal, And then I thought, October London. I wonder if he'd be interested in working together. And turns out he and his dad, are fans. And so he was excited to hear from us and went in the studio and wrote this lyric and recorded this vocal. And it's a smash.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Your stories, they really parallel. At one point, you're delivering pizza to do your music thing, and October London had just got his truck license to be a trucker.
Right.
And you guys are together making this great music. It's just wonderful how creativity will get out and get to the people the way it needs to. What's the name of the record?
The October London record is called All I Want Is You.
I'm glad that I have a chance to talk to you every year or so, because there's always something new, and you always bring us up to date. It's really fantastic. Now, how do folks get in contact with the great Boney James?
Well, I've got my website, boneyjames.com. I'm easy to find out there.
There you go. Fantastic. That's Boney James. Nobody's better. And thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Jeff Fox Show Behind the Mic podcast, a conversation with jazz, R&B saxophonist, Boney James. Now remember, you can also check out my nationally syndicated Jeff Fox radio show. I bring you the best in music, culture, conversation every day. You can also stream me online. Just look for the Jeff Fox Show affiliate and pick your station. Now, I want to do something a little different. I've been telling you about my new album, Variations. It's available right now on bandcamp.com. Right now, I'm going to feature one of the cuts from the album. Now, this one is called Country Road, Scenic and Peaceful. Let me know what you think. Pick up a copy. Just go to bandcamp.com. This is Country Road, Scenic and Peaceful. We'll talk to you next time.
Jeff Fox, taking you behind the mic, keeping you in the know, where the real stories are told, where the truth and the soul unfold. Now you know it's the Jeff Fox Show. Behind the Mic Podcast.
The Jeff Fox Show Behind the Mic Podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcast.